you know, it's fun. It's like when you're on a boat. It's like when you're on a boat, and and you're driving, and all of a sudden, like you take your foot off the accelerator, right? And the boat it's like I would think like we're moving forward, the boat would sort of coast in, but it doesn't happen like that. Like the boat just stops moving, and then you get lurched back and forth. So I wanted to make sure that you all didn't get like whiplash from slowing down on a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
So tonight I'm not sure how long I'm going to last, as I did most of the driving, and so I need a vacation from my vacation. And so the good news is we brought in a new data couple with us.
Oh.
So Benjamin and Kollel Epstein are going to be our newest data couple. So they are now officially moved here.
Where are they living?
Living in one of our mansions in Harvest Hill.
Sweet.
Yeah, 5740 Harvest Hill.
40, okay.
Yeah, so I came in, I went and I just ran by to make sure it was painted, and now they're putting new flooring, and so it'll be nice. Nice.
I hear there's a place near you that's available, a house.
No, I appreciate that. Actually, I want to talk to you about that.
Yes, I bet you will.
But that's but I'm glad you found that other house. So that's exciting. And so okay, so that's the scoop of where we're at. Okay, just a quick reminder. I don't know if you guys know, but the high holidays are less than 4 weeks away. Right? They actually were starting, I think, the Sunday night. When does Rosh Hashanah start?
Sunday night.
I think Sunday night, right? Sunday night, September. No. It's early.
No.
That might be Yom
Rosh Hashanah's
Kippur.
the 10th.
The 10th, right? Sunday night, September 10th, is actually going to be happening. So we do a learner service. I do a learner service Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So hopefully you got all the handout to sign up for it. For the services, it should be hopefully inspiring and meaningful. So we'd love everyone to come join us. Please spread the word. Tell your friends. Scholarships are available. So if anyone has trouble paying for it, we want them to come. So it's money should not be a barrier to people coming and joining us. And so that's going to be happening. Sunday, September 10th, I guess, is when we're going to be celebrating Rosh Hashanah. On that note, I was thinking that maybe tonight, since it's going to be a shorter class anyway, that maybe we should talk a little bit about Rosh Hashanah, or about the month of Elul. Okay, that we are now in this auspicious time of year called the high holiday season. Right? Okay, it's a high holiday season, right? And it's a time really. It's really meant as a time for introspection. Okay, like sort of this is the closest thing I can think of to describe it. This is like April 15th. This is tax day. Right? Like at the end of every year, you're supposed to sit down. You're supposed to just at least make some sort of financial plan, right? Scott, is that right? Or really, every month, every week, every day. Anytime's a good time, right? But to make sure that you go ahead and you do it, right? So you're gonna kind of have you kind of have to have a time to introspect, right? To stop and to say, where am I, and where am I going, right? Meaning, and what is life really about? Am I really doing the things that I want to be doing with my life, as opposed to just doing just because everyone's doing. So I'm one more person that's doing along with everybody else, right? And the sad part is that most of us spend our lives just doing, right? We're doing because that's what we do, right? Right? And really, what happens is this is meant as a time to stop and to take into introspection, and actually to stop and to think, am I doing the things that I want to be doing? Am I accomplishing what I want to accomplish? right? And really to kind of focus and sort of make a plan of what I want to be doing, right? What I want to be doing. So, and actually there are two components of it, right? One component is looking backwards and saying, well, the real thing is really, I guess, is looking, the first step is to look forward, saying if I had to start today, right, what would I be doing today, right? How would I be acting today? What would I be doing today? Right, let's assume nothing, right? You know, every company is supposed to have this once a year to sit down, and it's called zero, right? It's called zero-sum budgeting. To go ahead and to just wipe the floor. What are the things we need to do? Who are the right people to be in each of those places? And can we accomplish each one of those things? I mean, that's really what we're supposed to be kind of looking at doing, and to accomplish, right? To go ahead and to accomplish and to make that happen. Right? That's really what we're supposed to be trying to do. And Rosh Hashanah is a time. It's called the beginning of the new year, right? Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, and that's a time when it's very appropriate. Now, the good news is that Rosh Hashanah is 27 days away. The bad news is
It's 27 days away.
It's 27 days away. And how do we start making a plan to sort of to prepare ourselves to go into Rosh Hashanah? Because as we know, in Rosh Hashanah, right, the entire world is judged. Everybody, every person, every being, past, present, and future. Right? People who have died get rejudged in Rosh Hashanah. Right?
So it's goes for everybody, including the non-Jews?
Absolutely.
I mean, the whole world?
The entire world gets judged on Rosh Hashanah. Not only to get judged, right, we say the special prayer called the Masana Tokef, right, the very moving prayer that we say in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, right, the vivid imagery is of a shepherd counting his flock. And the way that they would do it is they actually have a pen, right, where all the sheep would be, and then they would have a chute coming off the pen, and the sheep would have to go one by one down the chute. It was only wide enough for one sheep. Right, and the shepherd would be there counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it says, and that's really what happens on the high holidays, is that we actually get a chance to stand in front of God. And each of us get our own time in daylight, where God goes and looks at us, looks us up and down, sizes us up what we have done, and judges us what is going to happen for this coming up year.
Is there a punishment?
Is there a punishment? God never punishes. There might be
justice.
There might be. God is merciful, but and even justice, even that there's such a concept of justice, actually is really merciful, because if your actions didn't matter, then your life wouldn't matter. God judges you and me because we matter. It makes a difference what we do, right? Right? It matters what we do, right? It's something very, very important to understand. Right? People kind of say, why is God judging me, right? You know, the answer is that understand, God only judges us because what we do matters. And so therefore he looks at the actions, what we have done, right, and what we are planning to do. Now, so there might be consequences to our actions, right? Maybe we didn't use our strength well enough, right? Maybe we went and we frittered it away. So God says, okay, well, next year I'm not going to give you so much strength because you didn't use it. Right? I gave you brains. What did you do with your brains? Right? Did you use them well enough? Did you not use them well enough? Okay, well, again, you frittered them away to take them away. So everything that we have is we have to go into Rosh Hashanah understanding that we have nothing. Right? The people just say, God, leave me alone. And it says, God leaving you alone, you have nothing. Right? We have nothing. Right? Well, have the money in the bank? No, you don't. You think you have money in the bank. Right? But it maybe not. Right? But the entire world comes before God in Rosh Hashanah. So it's a great opportunity, right? As well as a time for great protection. A very, very powerful time, And since it's such a powerful time, we have to make sure that we use it properly. Because if we don't use it properly, then, a pox on our houses, right? We just, right, we sort of are, right, we're eating our own compunction, right? We're getting what we reap what we sow. Right? So therefore it's a very, very important time to make sure that we're doing the right thing and that we're using what we have and what we're doing to accomplish that. Yeah.
Nobody knows the future.
Right. Except God.
Except God.
Mm-hmm.
So during the Selichot time and during this whole month of
Elul.
we try to kind of cleanse our soul and kind of clear our past, clear our judgment.
Right.
And everything starts again. We go back to basic again.
Right.
Back to zero.
Right.
So why am I doing this if I don't know the future?
Because the answer is your future will be decided by what you have done. Who here wants to change the world? But guess what? If you don't use your strength to change the world, then guess what? A lot of big talkers out there, right? You're not going to have that ability. You have to show God. You have to make strides. You have to show them that that's what you're trying to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? You have to put in the effort, right? You have to put in the effort to go ahead and to make those changes and to do those things, right? And that's what we have to do, right? It means that we have to go ahead. We have to kind of go over our past, right? We have to go over our past, make sure that we're doing with our past, right?
I'm not responsible for the world. I'm responsible for my own action.
You are responsible for your own actions, and you have to understand that your actions affect the world. Says Maimonides, listen to me carefully. Listen to this carefully. You read this Maimonides, your head gets blown away. At least mine did. And people ask, Rabbi, why don't you have a head? I said, well, you read Maimonides, you have no head left. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. Incredible thing. He says, when you get in front of you an action that you could do one way or the other. Okay? Right? 50-50. He says, you have to look at yourself as if you are 50% righteous and 50% wicked. And this next action that you're about to do will decide whether you live or whether you die. And not only that, it says you have to look at it as if your family is at 50%, 50.00000, and the next action you do will decide whether your family will be vindicated or they will be found guilty. And then you have to understand that your city is at 50% righteous and 50% wicked. And your next action, you're going to make your entire city either righteous or wicked. And then you have to take a look at if your state is 50% righteous or 50% guilty, and your next action will decide the fate of your state. And then you have to look at your country, as if your country is 50% righteous and 50% wicked, and your next action will decide what happens. And then you have the entire world stands at 50% righteous, 50% wicked, and your next action will decide whether the entire world lives or the entire world dies. Now, says Maimonides, go make that decision.
So the 50-50 will never go away.
Well, we don't know. We have people that are doing good, and the people that are striving that aren't doing good.
But that's not. That's right.
Correct. And so we have to be from the people that do good. We took responsibility for the world. The world rests on our shoulders. Right? We took responsibility for the world. It sits on our shoulders. Right? We have responsibility. right? And that's really what it's about. It's about having the responsibility. It's about that talk is cheap, right? It's not about right. It's easy to say, yeah, I'm going to be righteous, right? But when it comes time to push comes to shove, to do the righteous actions, that's tough. Everyone in this room, including myself, would agree that we should all be good people, right? Who thinks we should be good people? right. Yet, when push comes to shove, and we have to make the action, we're going to do righteous or we're not going to do righteous, right? Are we going to do the mitzvah or we're not going to do the mitzvah? How many times do we do it, and how many times do we not do it? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's an amazing thing. And by the way, you have to have merit for that. Right? Talk is cheap. Right? But actions is what counts. Doing the right thing is what it's all about. Right? And that's really the key. Right? To do the right thing. Right? And that's really where it behooves us to get to it, right? Is that you have to follow through on the actions.
One more question. So every year we have Yom Kippur and we have Rosh Hashanah,
right.
And we cleanse ourselves, we try our best to do the best. So we have done our job here. What is the point of going up there and answer to the higher authority after that?
Well, have we done our job? Have this year done more righteous than more not righteous? Have we made decisions? Right? Where have we fallen short?
If I made a mistake, I don't know.
Okay, maybe. And sometimes you do know, but you do it anyway. I don't know about you. You're righteous. I'm talking about, for us regular peons. I'm just putting it out there. The Demis will say you're a sinner, but I know there's room for improvement. I know I could do better. And it's possible. It's all possible. I know I try. Do I really try my best? Do I really do it? Do I really look at it as if my life, as if the world is hanging? Because I promise you, what's it called? All the movies, right? They go, right? It's right. The person is you go ahead and you get a place of. There's a button. What's it called? Independence Day. I don't know what it is. There's a guy who's a scumbag, and at the end of the day, he could save the world, but he has to kill himself in order to save the world. And even he, as narcissistic as he is, in the last moment he kills himself, and at least then his kids could be proud of him. And I'm not sure that's the right thing, by the way. But anyway, that was the theme of the movie, right? And he goes.
Of course, it's the right thing.
Of
course, it's the right thing.
To kill oneself, to make your kids proud.
To save the world.
No, that's very good. And right to save the world. I know what I'm saying, but the undertone of it, okay. right. It's like there's a story within the story, right? But it's right, to go ahead, right, and to. Right, so when we all push comes to shove, we will all do right. We will all make that major life decision correct. But we have to learn to be heroes, even in the small things, even when people might not know, even when it's just for me, and just doing what God says because God says I want you to do it. Because I want to be righteous. I want to be a godly person. And it's right. It's doing the right thing to be godly is where it's all about. Right. That's at the end of the day. That's where it comes from. Right, and being able to do the right thing. Right. That's right. That's bottom line, where we're at. Right. Where we need to be at. We need to be at that. So comes Rosh Hashanah, comes Yom Kippur. What's our job? To do the right thing. Right. And it's really a time of taking accounting. Have we done what we said? Right? Are we accomplishing what we're supposed to accomplish? Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that really, and it's funny because you'll ask the question: shouldn't Yom Kippur come before Rosh Hashanah? Because Yom Kippur is a day of atonement, right? And Rosh Hashanah is really what happens in Rosh Hashanah. The world
It gives me time to repair myself before we get to the real.
Well, where's the real deal? The Day of Judgment, Rosh Hashanah, or Yom Kippur, which is sort of like a makeup day. Right? Rosh Hashanah is when the world gets judged. And it's fascinating because if you take a look at the prayers in Rosh Hashanah, there's not a lot talking about repentance in Rosh Hashanah. In Rosh Hashanah, we talk a lot about God being the king. Right? God being the boss. Right? That's what it's really all about. Right? It's going ahead and it's God, you're my king. It's sort of getting us in a place of where our heads are focused on that that this is what the world is about. Right? And what am I doing about it? Right? And am I headed in the right direction? Right? Do I have the key? And then once I understand that, then now it begins going ahead. Okay, well now I need to take a look at my actions. That my actions live up to the idea of where I want it to be. That was able to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Right? That's really what comes about. Right? It's right. Going ahead and getting to a place of that. God is my king, and I'm willing to live my life that way. And so, what happens is on Rosh Hashanah we stand in shul, we say, God, you're my king, you're my king, my king. Right? We blow the shofar, right? Fantastic. Right? We blow the shofar. Terrific, okay, fantastic. We blow the shofar, so that day we get it. But God gave us a blessing of the month of Elul, right? The month preceding Rosh Hashanah, which is the month that we're in today. Right? We have a chance to sort of to work on ourselves and to kind of to make ourselves better. Right? To go ahead and to improve ourselves and to get us to a place where we need to be. Right? That's right. And really, so this is a golden opportunity, something that we really want to use, right? We want to make sure that we don't lose this opportunity, because it's such a incredible opportunity that God has given us, right? And actually, it's interesting that the month of Elul, you know what the month of Elul stands for? Ani l'dodi v'dodi li. I am into my beloved, and my beloved is to me, right? And that's what we say to God, right? Ani l'dodi, right? I'm to my beloved. I am to God. V'dodi li, and my beloved is to me, right? Because God has a habit, right, of acting towards us the way we act towards others. Okay, God acts towards us in the way that we act towards others, right? And so therefore, we have this relationship with God that we really control the tempo of the relationship. Right? The crazier we are about God, the crazier God is about us. Right? I mean, it's a crazy thing to say, but you think about it, right? It's when somebody goes ahead and you fall in love with somebody, right? It's on your brain, right? All that's on your brain is that other person, right? That's all that's on your brain. You can't think about anything else, right? And that person, they fall in love with you, right? It's the same thing. Such a beautiful thing, right? It's the same thing with God, right? The more we are, I don't want to use the word infatuated, but right, but have that deep love of God, right? The more God loves us. Man, that's an incredible thing, right? And we control that relationship. And really, this is the month of where we're meant to take time and to focus on that, and to look ahead and do the right thing, right? To go ahead and to make sure that we're connecting, that we're doing the right thing. And that's what this month is about, right? Doing this ani l'dodi v'dodi li, doing this piece about all being focused on God. And that's this month is about. And it's recognizing how God is my king, but not just in the big things, but even in the small things. Right? Even in places where people aren't gonna know. You know, it's just kind of cute. So I was up in upstate New York. And so they have all these little produce stands. Right? All around. And what happened was, I wanted to buy produce, but I kept them passing by these produce stands, and nobody was there. And finally, I stopped at one, hoping that maybe somebody would show up when they saw me showing up. Right? And there was all the stuff. It was unbelievable. And a box, right. And it says a lockbox that was screwed on and said, please just put your money in here. Right? And just go, just deposit your money. Right? Go put your money in there. Nobody's watching. You have an opportunity to do the right thing or not. Here they are, And we bought a zucchini that was like this big. I actually have a picture of it. Like for 50 cents. Like huge zucchini. It almost looked like a chauffeur. And right, but just huge. Right? Again, nobody's watching. Right? You do it, you don't, you pay, you don't pay. How much you pay? It's like funny. I wanted to buy something, but I didn't have the right cash. I didn't have the right change. It was like I only had like $7. I needed $8. Like okay, well, what am I going to put back? I had a 10. But more. Yeah, just kind of just fun. Just looking at it, just trying to figure out what you're paying. Right, make sure that right. Again, nobody knows. Nobody knows. You will, you won't.
But you know.
God knows. Right? And that's really what it's about. It's about doing the right thing with God. And being righteous to God. Not for any other reasons. But just that God says, I want you to be godly. I want you to be a godly person. And I want you to do the right thing. And that's what it's about. Right? Going ahead and doing the right thing. Right? Making sure we do the right thing. We do the right thing, then life can move on. Right? We don't. Not good. Right? And so really it's and so this month is a time of going ahead and of focusing ourselves and getting locked into that God is God. And how much do I want, right? How much do I want to be godly? Right? How much do I want God to be my king? Right? It's what type of relationship do I want? And stopping and focusing about that and thinking about that and living like that, right? That's really the key. That's really where we could go ahead and we could really make a difference, right? But it takes work, right? It takes work, and so it actually it's important to take some time and to stop and to think about it. You all have a pen or your smartphones. It's fine too. Actually, it might be better to take out your smartphone. Okay, open a new memo. For everyone online, feel free to do this at home. Okay. I want you to write down your 3 goals for this coming up year. Three goals for this coming up year. Top 3 goals. Remember Rosh Hashanah, right? You're gonna right. That's Okay. Are we done? Top 3 goals. Okay, we'll give you some time. Top 3 goals. Okay, top 3 goals for this year.
It's for 5778, right?
5778. Right?
Boy, the time flies.
What is the meaning of 5770? Does it have any meaning?
That's from the creation of man.
Does it have any meaning? The number does it have
Yeah,
any-
it's been 5,778 years ago man was created on this day. It's the birthday of the world. Right? The birthday of this world.
Are we celebrating during the Yom Kippur?
What?
Are we celebrating that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends what you do with it. Right? It depends what you do with this year. Right? It depends how much you have to celebrate. Right? If celebrating means just getting drunk and having a party, not much to celebrate.
Rabbi, please explain the Rosh Hashanah plates that you put on the table.
Okay, we'll get to that. Hold on. I want to first get the Rosh Hashanah plate you put on the table is the 3 biggest accomplishments you're going to accomplish for the next year. Don't worry about anything else. All the other stuff doesn't mean a diddly. 3 biggest accomplishments that you want to accomplish this year.
These are goals, right?
These are goals.
Not what you did last year.
No. Nope. Not what you did last year. Okay, now I want you to do part 2 for the exercise. I want you to write down your 3 biggest spiritual accomplishments of this last year. Your 3 biggest spiritual accomplishments of this last year.
Can we include studying with you?
Absolutely.
Am I putting myself on a scale?
Nope. You are looking at yourself and you're trying to see what you can accomplish or what you need to accomplish, what you haven't accomplished, yada yada or where you can go ahead and where you can better yourselves.
That we did last year.
That you did this year, right? This year. Last Rosh Hashanah to this Rosh Hashanah. So what would be some examples of spiritual accomplishments? Might be keeping Shabbat, keeping kosher, not talking Lashon Hara. Those might be considered bigger ones. Smaller accomplishments might be you had an opportunity to say something not nice about somebody and you bit your tongue and you didn't say anything. Right? You held back from saying Lashon Hara. Right? You were nice to somebody. Right? Again, right? But that's a spectrum, right? Right? Learning Torah is a big one, right? That's right? Right? Learning Torah is really my son told me a line. I need to ask him. I meant to ask him again. But learning Torah is understanding what God thinks, the mitzvos, is understanding what God wants from us. Now, I have to ask him. I have to get that more clear. He said that to me. We're driving through the night, so he asked, "How do you stay awake?" So I said, "Well, you could put on some interesting Torah talks, and you could listen to them while you're traveling, while you're driving." So, like, he called me, says, "I can't talk to you now. I'm in the middle of listening to a great class. Call me later." So I hung up him. So he's going in. It's he kind of wanted to get back to his learning Torah. So I'm going to make a guess over here. I'm going on a limb. But our 3 goals for this coming up year were much loftier than our 3 spiritual goals that we accomplished this past year. For most of us. Some of us had big accomplishments. We're able to do big stuff. But what's interesting, I just for before we get into the nitty gritty, actually, of what would be some of these spiritual accomplishments, we start off with these big ideas of what we want to accomplish, but then when it comes time to push comes to shove, it becomes the push comes to shove. We're not able, or we're not executing the great plans that we have. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't make great plans. It just means that we need to take the great plans, and we need to take action, and then make a plan to make it happen, right? And that's something that's something that we need to do. Right? Would anyone like to volunteer? What are some of their accomplishments of this past year?
Accomplishments from this year.
For this year that we're in.
Huh. Okay.
Go ahead, Norm.
Well, I began the biblical study of Hebrew.
Biblical study of Hebrew.
So
Okay.
I'm taking a course in biblical Hebrew.
Good.
And I studied with my rabbi 3 times at least 3 times a week when he's here.
Okay.
Sometimes he's not here.
And you got to get yourself a new rabbi. This rabbi business, taking vacations, is just way out of whack.
I know. It doesn't make sense to me.
But you know what? I have a good goal for you next year, by the way.
Okay.
And that is that even when your rabbi is not in town, that you still come and study.
I try.
And that's a goal to achieve. Go ahead.
I spoke more kindly to people this year than I was last year.
Oh, yay. Excellent. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Anyone else wanna volunteer?
I'll share.
Go ahead.
Okay, learning on a regular basis.
Very good. Studying on a regular basis.
Studying, yes. I have a Torah mate, and I do the Shabbat. We learn, Shabbat students. We learn.
Beautiful.
And doing my best to not miss classes unless I have something else.
Right.
And the second thing is davening.
Good. Prayer. Good.
Pray more.
More
I
consistently.
used to skip, sometimes when I make more time for that, and I do a lot of healing too,
Okay.
because unfortunately a lot of people in the community need
Unfortunately. Okay.
And the third thing is personal change. I worked on myself during the last year, and I think I worked on, what so-called bitachon, and, I'm more calm, and I know that whatever is supposed to happen will happen on its own, on its time, the right time.
Matt. Okay, beautiful.
So,
Matt, okay, lovely. Good. And anyone else?
doesn't include my
You came to the right class.
More Torah study.
More Torah study.
I went to a mikvah for the first and last time.
Yay. Okay, good.
And married under a chuppah.
Oh, beautiful. And how was the mikvah experience?
Your wife did an amazing job.
Yeah. And how did you do?
It was more emotional experience. I don't even understand that.
Isn't it weird?
It is. It's weird because logically, no, I know, but I'm a very logical, pragmatic person.
Right.
I'm not like on, whatever.
Right.
It's just really emotional. And then there's someone in the community that just had to think of this person.
Mhm.
Christian doing well. I mean,
Right.
it's just like the power of it was
Overwhelming.
And I don't mean that in a negative way for people not to do that.
No. It happens to be, right? Women have to use the mikvah, right, every month. Okay, when they're menstruating, postmenopausal women use it once and they're done, once and done. And I can tell you, and you think what's the big deal? It's a swimming pool, like you go dunking, like you're skinny dipping once and you're done, right? Like what do you think it is? I cannot tell. I asked you. I don't know if I've talked about it before. Women that have done it, just have done it. It has been. I had a lady who did it, and she said she started saying my mother, her mother was dead, her grandmother. She said, but they came to see me when I came out of the mikvah. And like crazy stuff, and she got like her whole family to go, like her sisters and her sister-in-laws. She made them all go. But it's a very, very powerful mitzvah, right? That it's like out of control, right? The power of the mitzvah is so incredible, and it's truly something quite incredible. That's beautiful.
My third wife told me when she did it that she felt like she had immersed herself in God's mercy.
Right? It's actually interesting. Is one of the ideas of the mikvah is that where does the mikvah first appear in the Torah? So it's actually in the second verse in the Torah. And the world was void and desolate, and darkness on the face of the depth, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the water. And if you look at the world, there was only water. And what was on top of the water? God. Right? Right? Spirit of God hovering over the water. And so when we go to the mikvah, when we come up out of the mikvah, we're surrounded by water. And we take that breath in, right? What are we breathing in? The Spirit of God. Right, it's going here, right. We're taking that inside our bodies. Right, it's a truly very, very powerful experience. Right, it's something that
took me by surprise.
Yeah. Okay, let's try to see what could be some of the spiritual goals for this coming up year.
My son and my grandsons join us for Shabbos, and I realize what I have for Parsha discussion is not age appropriate, so that's what I'm going to work on. It's getting something that we can talk about.
How old are your grandchildren?
5.
Okay, there's something called, there's two things I'd suggest for you, and there's something called the Little Midrash Says. That actually goes through the Torah portion, kind of almost, and with bigger, with pictures, but more age appropriate for that. As the Little Midrash says, as well, I'll tell you some interesting stuff. I don't know if it's available online. There was a very, very famous, at least in the religious world, Rabbi Jurvel, Jurvel, Jurvel. So anyway, who did they did like a tape on each Torah portion of the week for kids.
Yeah, I want something on Shabbos evening that we can talk.
Right. But one thing you can do is you have the kids listen to it during the week.
Oh yeah.
And then that way, then you can ask them let them tell you what the Torah portion is.
Got it.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that is very, very, very good to do. very. But he does it with songs or whatever. There's some, right? And then there's also some good. Article has a series called the Mido series. Okay, that talks about different different attributes, anger, being kind. It just does like a whole series of books that I find to be very very good. Yeah, very good for the kids.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to share a spiritual goal for this coming up year? Yeah.
Be a better husband and father.
Good.
Be closer to Hashem. And in doing so, meet with the rabbi to map out a course.
Okay.
And to work smarter.
Okay. Good. Work smarter is much better than working harder.
He does both. I know him.
Right. So that's a, right. But a spiritual like what is big spiritual goal? It's it's interesting because there's a very famous or infamous man named Mao. You might have heard of him. Mao.
Mao Zedong?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So he said a journey of 1,000 miles. I think it's from him. Right. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Right. And then it's going ahead and getting to a place. Right. Taking that single step. Right. Means that the goal. What goal do I want to reach? Do I want to? I'll give you some examples. Okay. I'm throwing these out, putting them out. You could borrow or take what you want. It makes no difference. Let's say in the realm of Shabbat, right? Is maybe you start saying I'm going to have a Friday night dinner. I start making Kiddush Friday night. Celebrate Shabbat. Come to the learner service, on Saturday mornings. And you still go to the mall in the afternoon, but take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Start taking steps, right, to accomplish your goal. It doesn't say, "Well, I'm going to become completely Shomer Shabbat, and I'm going to keep Shabbat completely," right? Right? That might be too big of a chunk. You might want to say, "Well, I'm going to start doing it once a week." We're going to do right once a month. I'll start with once a month. I'll start with every other week. I'll start with every Friday night. I'll start with every other Friday night. Right? The good thing about Shabbat is there's so many pieces that you could go and you can take from, right? That you could go and you can use. That that at the end of the day, right? You could just you just pick something, right? I tell people, when I play name recognition. So you say Rosh Hashanah, what do people think of? Shofar, right? Sukkot, sitting in a sukkah. Right? Pesach, matzah. Shabbos. So the sad thing is most people think about the things that they can't do. Right? When what's Shabbat really about?
Pleasure.
Pleasure, right? It's all about doing things, right? It's about, right? It's going ahead, right? It's going ahead and it's saying, I'm going to do A, I'm going to do B, right? It's a thing of doing. I tell people, I said, don't tell your kids you can't watch TV on Shabbat, right? The first thing you do with your kids is you tell them, okay, let's go buy special cereal for Shabbat, right? Let's do something special on Shabbat that we don't do during the week. Right, and that way make it more special. Make the day more special. Right, so that could be a goal. Right, the goal might be Shabbos is a goal, and I'm going to take a step or two or three. Rather, right, I'm going to take a step on what it is. Right, kosher. Kosher is great. It's got so many different opportunities. You could say I'm going to start off doing 1 day kosher. Or 2 days kosher, right? Or every other day. Or I'm going to do lunches, I'll do dinners, I'll do breakfast kosher. I don't eat breakfast, I'll do kosher breakfasts. Right? We get right. Go. It doesn't have to. These things don't have to be something that are so hard, right? Right. But take something that's doable, achievable. Right. Create something that's achievable, and use that thing that's achievable. Set that as a goal. right? So at least to put it in play. You know what I'm saying? Right? Put it on the mat. Right? Go ahead and to make sure that you're going ahead and that you're doing, right? That you're doing the right thing. Right? That's right. That's really what it's about. Right? Going ahead and accomplishing those things and making those things happen. Right? That's really the key. Right? To go ahead to do such a thing. Right? So those are lovely things to be able to do. Right? But it means taking any mitzvah. Right? And sort of I'll give you an example. Lashon hara. Okay? Right? This is a big one that probably is the hardest mitzvah at all to do. Right? Is proper speech. Right? And say, you know what, for an hour a night, I'm not going to speak Lashon hara. From 3 to 4 a.m., I'm not going to speak Lashon hara. Right? Right? It's
From
right?
3 a.m. to 4 a.m.
3 a.m. to 4 a.m., yeah.
I might be able to do it.
Yeah. Right? So it's but it's that type of thing, right? Take something doable, take a chunk, save up all your juicy information for later, but at least that hour you're going to be good. Right? To go ahead and to you're going to try to be right. You're going to try to be good that hour, right? It's talking about going ahead. You have anger issues, right? So to practice not getting angry, right? To say anytime you're about to get angry, you're going to have to count to 100 backwards, skipping every third number, right? And before you get angry, right? So then at that point in time, right, that should hold you down for a while, and then by the time you finish that, you probably forget why you wanted to get angry in the first place, right? But these are different types of things that are really what I call really good to think about now, right, and to map out a plan now. So when we come to Rosh Hashanah, and when we come and stand in front of God, and we go ahead and we're now in front of God, and we're saying, okay, God, please give me another year. Right? We come at least with the plan. Right? That this is what we're going to do. Right? And we come with a plan. So then at that point in time, right, there's a lot more. Right? There's a lot more basis for what it is. Instead of just kind of like, the problem is most of us show up on Rosh Hashanah and we haven't thought about anything. And we say, God, give me another year of life because why exactly? What am I doing here? Oh, right? And we kind of just shoot from the hip, or just to kind of think something, right? And we don't stop and map out a plan. And so we have this month, right? A month of Elul, where we have a distinct opportunity, right? To really to map it out and to make a plan, right? To go ahead to make something achievable. And that's something that really we could become truly great people, right? Because people, think that great people, who would be a great person, think of, I don't know, Mother Teresa or whatever it is, right? Right? And what people don't understand is that a person who goes ahead and who conquers, and who's going to get angry but doesn't get angry, that's a great person. Right? That's greatness. Right? There's a lot of greatness that we have as the potential we have as human beings. Right? Is truly great. And we have that opportunity. And we have to remember to try to kind of dial into that. Right? To go ahead to become great. Right? To become great. And then remember, there's only one audience we're playing to. Right? And that's the audience of God. Right? That's right. That's what we're playing to, right? And so really, we have to become great. But it takes time and introspection. It takes thought, right? It takes thought and to do it, right? I mean, just I'll give you an example, right? You have a client. You're trying to mold their behavior. How do you get them to mold their behavior?
To see what they need.
Right.
Example?
And when they see what they need, and then they could obviously intellectually agree with you because it probably makes sense. How do you get them to follow through? Right? How do you get them to follow through? Right? How do you get them to do it? Right?
Give them an incentive.
And you give them an incentive, a reward. So do the same thing. This is all the same thing. Right? Give yourself an incentive. Give yourself an incentive. 5 times you don't get angry, the 6th time you could really yell. And you make up for all the 5 times that you bit your tongue. Right? Right? You know, like, give yourself an incentive that will speak to you. Right? And that will, it's funny, this Rabbi Yogi is up in Plano, so he said they discovered that really that it's not the incentive of doing, right? It's really the incentive of the pain. We're more adverse to pain than we are. Staying away from pain is more important to us than doing something good. He said, so what he did was he went on a diet. But in order to keep himself on a diet, he decided that every time he broke his diet, he found this organization that he couldn't stand. We were going to have to make a donation to them. That was the way that he trained himself, right, to do what he wanted to do. Right. It's right to go ahead and to create such a thing. Right, and to get to a place of where we're more adverse to pain than to pleasure, right? Which is funny, by the way, because it's a sad commentary on life. See, most of us don't live life. Most of us just go through life trying to avoid pain. Right? Just don't put me in too much pain. But that's not living. That's surviving. Right? Then you have to stop surviving life. You have to start living life. Living life is really where it's at.
How do you start living?
But again, what you do is you start saying.
Because most of us we try to survive. We
Right.
have to work because we want to make money to pay our bills and survive.
Right, and survive. That's where we're
At
at.
the end of the story, we still have to go. So how do you make a living? How do you make the best out of this whole world?
It's the answer is that you really what you have to say to yourself is what do I want out of life? I mean, like right, what are the accomplishments? I'll tell you what. I went on this vacation, family trip, and we had a boat. Right, we got a boat. We stayed at this resort marina in Jamestown, Kentucky. If any of you have a chance to go there, it's gorgeous. Okay, the lake it's actually the lake. It's a huge lake. It has more shoreline than the state of Florida. And it's like in the middle of Kentucky. It's like smack in the middle of Lexington, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, Nashville, Tennessee, and Knoxville. You draw a box in the middle, so it's like 2 hours from each airport. Right, and we took a boat out, and you just go on the lake, and it's all these channels off the lake. Gorgeous. I mean, just so pretty. I posted a couple pictures on Facebook. Just so pretty. Right? And you say, this is just sitting and just enjoying this world. Right? God has put such beauty in this world. Right? And then okay, so that's on one level. Then go and move up to a spiritual level. Right? What are my next? Right? What are the spiritual beauties in this world? What can I learn to achieve with those? Right? And then kind of doing those things, taking those steps. That's really what it's all about. And the more we're able to do that, the greater we can become. Okay, we're going to stop here. You can work on your lists, and I'm available if anyone would like to meet with me over this coming month before Rosh Hashanah to help you with your list, your steps, and look forward to. We're back now, so all classes are back on, God willing, and it's good. All right. Awesome.
Look at that.
Thank you, thank you. Don't forget about the high holidays. Right, the high holidays, and I see there's one with the Yom Kippur. It says daytime starts at 11. It really starts at 10:30. Right, daytime it starts at 10:30 as well. All right.
Excuse my rudeness for stepping out, but I had to take a call.
Yeah.